we really choose our religions and affiliations in the same way that we choose our sports teams. Yeah, the way we view politics, like how much are we really questioning and searching for the answers to these big questions that we should have? I mean, we definitely should have questions about faith. And are we just like taking the people before us word for it? You know what I mean?
Dude, I feel like it's hard because when you're a kid, it's like a curriculum, right? Like you know what they're going to teach your kids like before they're 10 about the Bible cuz like what can you digest? But then like I don't really remember. I guess when I was like 16 or so is like the first time where I started to think like, oh, this church that I'm going to is kind of strange and I'm not really sure. Like, but I was never like, I'm going to leave that church. I don't agree with it. Like, really exploring how I felt about faith. And I'm wondering, like, you've been a youth pastor and all that. Like, when about does that start
Yeah, it was definitely,
happening?
yeah,
Like,
it
was it
was.
earlier than 15 for you? Like, are most kids
Well,
like
for
in
me, it was
college
way
before they
early.
start to think about it?
I mean, I remember asking my parents, like, why should I believe this way? And I was like, if I was raised Buddhist, like, if I just believed because you believed, then based off of our faith, I would be wrong. And if I wasn't questioning it, I would never come to the truth. So, I was always thinking like that. I would say there are kids, man, all over the spectrum on this, like youth age, that some are questioning. No, 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 no.
Not kids on the spectrum, but like,
Yeah, the spectrum of
there's,
faith. Like
that's what,
it's like
yeah,
some
it's
kids
faith
just don't
spectrum.
even really think about it. Some don't question; they just take it at face value and move on with life. Others are questioning it, and
Yeah.
I always really was happy when a kid was questioning it, and would give them resources for
Yeah.
studying, and because I always felt like doubt and questioning was a time for growth. It was always a time to deepen your roots in what you believe
Yeah.
and really find out what you believe. Like, the truth is never afraid of questions. You know what I mean? Like, if you
Yeah.
truly believe
Yeah.
what you believe is the truth, then you have no worries about questioning things because you're going to come to the realization of that it's true. You know what I mean? You know?
I remember when I was a kid, like I remember pretty young actually, and I've been going to therapy or whatever, so I've been thinking about my childhood. I remember asking my mom like, "Do I need to close my eyes when I pray?" That was probably like the youngest, like most naive thing, I'm sure I was really little. And then I remember having questions like, "Do I have to come here every week? Why do we do
Yeah.
Sunday morning and Sunday night? Does God get mad
Yeah.
at us when we skip church?" Like I remember things like that. But I cannot remember until I was grown up and basically fell out of church
Mm.
having like my own opinion about how I think this or that. And that's why I feel like you touch on the article about parenthood and kind of like the idea that, this is sort of a thing that happens and you're not, it's important, I think, for parents to sort of pass down. But I think there's a difference between faith and like
Yeah.
church as a community. And that's like where I've landed, like in adulthood, like I don't feel like I need to go to church every, do all of the church things. If I really liked the people in my church, maybe I would more, but like nothing as far as my, eternal,
Yeah.
my
I
salvation.
think
Like I know
that
I'm in the clear,
sometimes we as parents, and I'm
you
speaking
know?
this because I have kids, I think
Yeah.
one of the biggest challenges is not being able to say you don't know the answer. Like sometimes you don't know the answer. That's just what it is. Sometimes you hadn't thought in the way that your kid is asking. And I think the problem
Yeah.
that sometimes parents do
Yeah.
is they try to either bullshit through the answer or they shut the question down. Like, whoa, we don't question that. We don't talk about that. I don't think that either one of those are good answers to a question. You know what I mean? I think the right thing to do is to say,
Yeah.
man, I don't really know. If you don't know, or if you've studied it and you know it and you
Yeah.
have, your evidence and why you believe it, then it's great. It's a wonderful time to sit down with the kid and walk through what the faith is and what you believe.